Hi, this is Chad. I wanted to do another video of a marketing material, and this one will be the DVD or CD DVD booklet, the 4-page one. So if you go to Blackboard, let me go back one. Anyway, under Documents and Content, um, we'll find a template. And let's see, there it is, CD 4-page booklet. When you download it, which you can see that I have already, it opens up like this. And honestly, the template is a little useless, and it's not, you really don't need to follow it, but go ahead and get some information. No, I'm sorry, you do need to follow it. Sorry about that, but it's best to get information off it and rebuild it. That's how I would do it. So up here, you can see that the trim size, that's how big the piece is 9.5 by 4, let's call it 4.75. So what that means, if we look at the whole thing, it's 4.75, and if we divide 9.5 in 2, we get 4.75 and 4.75. So all we need to do is create a document, and this is going to be a 2-page, right? So this is the outside front cover, this is the outside back cover, and then we'll do another. So I don't know if you really got that. Let me. I jumped to the second page, so let me try to change that so you can see me scroll. Okay, so here is page, the front and back covers, and then here are the inside covers. So not inside, it's just the inside of this little teeny brochure. It's just a one fold over type brochure. So what we're going to do is just recreate that. I'm going to use Illustrator to make it. I'll create a new document. This will be for print because in the end we're going to be printing it. And change it to inches. And the width, we said 9.5. And then the height is 4.75. And we're going to do this in 2 artboards. And that should be good, except I'm going to make sure this stays in RGB. And the reason why I'm doing that is because once we bring this into our final print piece, we'll need that. And then I'll come down here and click Create. Okay, so here is my document. I think what I'm going to do is put these on top of each other, these two artboards. And to do that, I'm going to click this artboard tool. And you can see artboard 1 and artboard 2. So this is going to be this right half is going to be my front cover. This left hand is going to be my back cover, and these are going to be my insides. But I find it a little bit easier just to stack them together. And I'm going to zoom in to make sure they are pretty much on top of each other. I bring up rulers with Control R or Command R. And then, yeah, so they're right on top of each other. Exactly. So that's great. So now I'm going to drop a guide in at 4.5. No, 4.75. That's half of my piece, 4.75. Okay, and you can see that guide goes all the way through. Now you don't have to put them on top of each other, and you can create these in InDesign or whatever you like. But I mean, I think Illustrator is the best for this particular application, or InDesign would be fine. So what I've done is I've gone back to my thumbnails, and I went, which one do I really like? I like this walrus thing, this love tour, but I redid it because notice this is a very square format right here, and that's the cover. That's the cover of my CD, and if I dropped it on iTunes, that would be the cover of the album. So back into Photoshop. So I had to redraw this because this is very rectangular right now. So this is what I did is I kind of made a little bit larger than I needed, but this is going to be my cover. And this bottom one's going to be my insides, at least the bottom of it, and this is going to be my back. So we'll see. That may not work as well as I'm thinking, but we'll try it. So I'm going to start with this beetles. The two walruses. I'm going to use my selection tool, and I'm just going to copy this out. Now, again, there's lots of ways to do this. This is just one way. So copy, new, and then paste this in. I'm going to use levels to try to get rid of the blue and deepen the black up a bit. And that's looking pretty good. So that's affecting my blues. So I might try that. And then I'm going to go to image mode. I think grayscale, and I'm going to flatten that. And then I'm going to choose image adjustments threshold. And then I can kind of darken this down a little bit, and that looks about right. Okay. So I'm going to get this saved. This is going to be the CD DVD booklet, and this is going to be cover illustration. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go into Illustrator, and maybe off to the side here, I'm going to place that in. Place. And I'll go grab that CD DVD booklet. Great. And then I'm going to bring up, I need to trace it, so let me go to so I can go to window and straight down to image trace, but there should be it's not attributes here. I know if I expand this, because I'm in a really condensed type of mode here, here's my image trace that pops up. Yay. So I'm going to use that. And this pull down says black and white logo, which is wonderful. That's the setting I want when I'm drawing in pen and ink. And I'm going to choose expand. And then I'll ungroup this. So, and I'm going to, maybe in my properties panel, it gives me all of those different options. So I'm going to ungroup. Let me pull that away. And okay, so now I'm going to remove all of my white fills. And there's one right there. So if I go up to select same fill color, I should get all my whites selected. Oh, actually, I didn't really want to do that. Sorry, I do want to color everything. So I'm going to go find, let me open up my identity, or I might open up my t-shirt. Remember that octopus garden that I did earlier? I like these colors, and I think they're in my identity, but I'm just going to capture them here, just so I have them, and there's the orange, dark pink, deep red, oops, deep red, there we go. And then I do have this last one here that I wanted to get. Okay, that's a pretty big color family, but and then lastly, I'm just going to grab that purple there. Oh, and you know what? I have the blue too. So I kind of have quite a few colors in here. But they're a pretty nice little family here. They go kind of cool together. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste that in here. And I'm going to go to my swatches. Here they are. And I'm going to click on this new group and then add them in. Then I can delete them out of here. Okay, so now I can go in and color this design. And you've seen me do that, so I'm not going to do it again with you online. But I'm going to do that for this and these other two illustrations. So you've seen me do that in both the gig poster and the t-shirt. So I'm not going to put you through that again. So I'll pause this and then start again. So I have finished coloring and bringing in the different, let's see, yeah, my different thumbnails. So I've copied these out, saved each one as kind of a JPEG, brought it into Illustrator, and here's my back cover. I went and found logos and then did traces on those. I brought in some kind of a barcode, brought in the type from the back of get rid of the guides. You can see that I have a kind of a main logo and then a secondary logo, and I chose to use the secondary on the back. And with all the small white type, I've kept everything very dark on the back, and I really just used a pattern from like this side of my XOOX illustration. On the bottom, this is from that, that same post-it, that little illustration, and then I chose in the back middle to put in acknowledgments of who was playing and then who the special guests were. And that's fine, they do that often. So there we go, we're done with the CD/DVD booklet. Let's see, so pretty simple, straightforward. One thing I should probably show you is, so I brought in I found a big CD, back of a CD, and then brought it in and used this type and kind of figured out how to do my logo. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to duplicate this so I can show you how I got it down to a square. So let me just release. So this is called a clipping mask, and I'm going to move this little shape, which is the size of my back cover. I'll just leave that there for now. So once I finished this illustration and coloring it, what I did was I made a rectangle the size of, well, I can just do it, I guess. So I made a rectangle the size of the back cover, right? So there it is. And then I moved it on top of the illustration so I could see what exactly I wanted cropped. So everything outside of the box will be hidden and everything inside of the box will be shown. So I'm going to select this. So I've grouped already everything in the illustration, and notice that the box is on top. So I'm going to right click and choose Arrange bring to front just to make sure. So it should be on the very front. And to make this clipping mask, to make everything outside the box hidden, I'm going to select the box and then hold down Shift and select everything else. Then I'll go up to Object and choose Clipping Mask Make, or you can choose Command 7 or Control 7. So the image is still there, it's just hidden by a clipping mask. Then I'll put my image in place, and then I need to send this to the very back. So my text can be in front. And then I'll just probably nudge this over so I don't have a gap. So there we go, done. Then what I'm going to do next is show you how to build your file to print. So stay tuned for the next video.